As I lay here in my bed, about to wake and shower and everything for the day, um, I see that a message was left and a comment on one of my videos. Um, I am with a heavy heart forced to come forth today and let everyone know that today will be Ghetto Intellect's last day commenting in the YouTube Black sector. He has found himself a new job, and he's being screened for that job, and he can no longer participate in what he has called a hellhole. This hellhole that we all reside in. Just a few words that will help convey accurately the loss that we all feel this day. Well, Ghetto joined us some time ago, not long. I think it's been maybe a year and a half, not long. And it didn't quite go well. He had some trouble adapting, and let's just say people weren't very nice to him in every possible occasion that they could have been. He had some issues with his emotions and releasing them on YouTube, which led to a crying incident. But people tried to stand by him at this time to support him emotionally. Some walked away, some tried. There was also, sorry, I'm getting a little choked up here. There was also a few outbursts of anger where people were threatened and called names and things like that. But, these things happen. So some people walked away and some people did try and stand by him. There was some meetups, threats of violence that never came to pass. But that's par for the course here. There was also a few incidents of showboating and flossing where he elevated himself above everyone else with his words. But again, no one is human. So we are all capable of this hubris, you might call it. And sometimes it takes people to stand by you and anchor you down and, walk you back on things such as this. There was the Tina Turner drag show incident that some thought was a bridge too far, but others did, stand in support and, try to keep things in perspective. But those that were being mean to him and those that were opposed to him were definitely rubbing his nose into the ground on this. And others did see this as a final straw. But some did stand next to him still. So he was forced, as any true person of integrity and moral standing would, he was forced to join True Freeman in clowning or trolling the people who previously stood by him yet walked away. So hurt he was. So hurt he was by people not supporting his angry outbursts, his sad outbursts, his drag inspired outbursts, his boastful outbursts, and pretty much each of the seven deadly sins um, given form on YouTube. People didn't find it easy to support that, and so angered by this he was that he went to join True Freeman. He decided to throw in his lot trolling with True Freeman against those who had walked away from him. He decided to lend moral and financial support to the person who disrespected Boss Man and Boss Man's children, the person that Ghetto Intellect went up on his panel time and time again, sat with him, smoked with him, um, called him brother without asking, without prompting. Boss Man didn't ask for Ghetto to call him anything, anything in a sort of communal or respectful way. Boss Man would have been fine with just anyone sitting up on his panel talking, as many people do. But no, Ghetto took it that extra mile and called Boss Man a brother. But he was forced. He was forced in his disappointment, and I'm not sure what a good word would be, but he was forced in his despair into the arms of True Freeman, because people that he once called a friend were mean to him and mistreated him and did not support him. So, over with True Freeman, who time and time again disrespected Ghetto Intellect and belittled Ghetto Intellect and took the money of Ghetto Intellect and demanded more. He went and yeah, it was a very devastating blow to those who used to support him. It was very difficult and painful for them to watch Ghetto be berated over again and emasculated, and also to have his job stripped from beneath him. This was the ultimate revenge for Ghetto Intellect, to sit in public and have people flog him with whips and stones, mostly True Freeman, actually. Flogged him with sticks and stones and whips. And he did this to troll those who once stood by him. He allowed himself to be disrespected time and time again. He allowed his pockets to be tapped and drained over and over again. Also, the rest of you who were mean to him would feel the wrath of your actions. And I hope you all have learned a lesson. I hope you all have learned a great lesson, okay? That if you are mean to someone, they will go stand by one of the most heinous people who has spoken horribly about children, elderly people, um, mentally disabled people, um, everyone, basically. Friend, foe, people who didn't deserve it. He would spread evil, this true free man. He spreads evil wherever he goes, evil and disrespect. And because people were mean to ghetto intellect, he was forced to go to this man and support him, support his actions, support the doxing of elderly people, support the doxing of children, support the efforts to have CPS go into people's homes and take children away. He financially put money in True Freeman's hand to drink and smoke and make his behavior even worse, because this is what ultimately fuels True Freeman's behaviors. The money, the alcohol, the drugs, all paid for on Ghetto Intellect's dime. And when True Freeman looked to his chat for support, for someone to stand by him and let him know that he's doing the right thing and to pray one, Ghetto was there for him. Ghetto was there for him because people were mean to him. Okay, you have to understand. He had a reason. He had a very good reason. People were mean to him. So keep that in perspective there. All of you forced this man to support True Freeman. All of you did this. So now, after True Freeman, after True Freeman has um, done all of this, doxed people, made fun of people, threatened people, made efforts to have people evicted and lose their jobs and have their children stripped away, have children put into the system. All of these efforts, after so much time and effort, True Freeman has tried this. After all of this time, Ghetto Intellect has witnessed this. Um, now, now, when True Freeman finally calls a 69-year-old woman at midnight to harass her and tell her that her son is stalking him and his family, Ghetto has finally seen that this is too much. This is a bridge too far. This is a road that you cannot easily turn back from. He finally sees the evil of True Freeman's ways and has decided to leave this hellhole and everyone in it to their own devices. Because calling a 69-year-old woman who's sick in her bed and telling her a bunch of nonsense at midnight is too much. It's too much for Ghetto Intellect to bear. You know, it's much worse than photoshopping a woman's head on someone else's body and passing it off as her nude photos. It's much worse than calling CPS to try and have children removed from their homes. It's much worse than calling a man's gas company, to have the gas company come, or try and have the gas company run up in there and have everyone pulled out, or have the police run up there, or calling a 9-year-old girl's school. Was she even 9 years old? I'm not even sure. She might have been younger. Calling a young girl's school and telling her principal that her parents are drug addicts and sell drugs out of school, out of their home, and that the woman should act and have the girl removed from her home. Um, Calling CPS and telling them that the parents are selling drugs and that their dogs viciously attacked the child and that the child should be removed from the home. Yeah, all of this pales in comparison to him calling a 69-year-old woman who's sick in her bed in the middle of the night. This all pales in comparison. It pales in comparison to him threatening and verbally assaulting children online and wishing horrible things happen to them, wishing the most inhumane and horrible things happen to innocent children. Yeah, the these all pale in comparison to what finally broke the camel's back, which is calling a 69-year-old woman in the middle of the night and disturbing her sleep and calling and telling her gibberish over the phone. So finally, Ghetto has seen that supporting this man morally and financially, even if he had the righteous reason of getting revenge on people that were mean to him, is not a good thing, and has decided to walk away. He will no longer allow himself to be publicly emasculated and embarrassed by a drunk, dirty, pretty much homeless squatter who can barely rub two nickels together in his greasy, skull-stained hands to keep his lights on or even feed himself. And a woman who also supports him, but is so slow that she can't tell if her roommate is passed out on the floor drunk in a pool of his own urine and vomit, or if he's just playing or just joking. She's not sure, so she'll just step over him. And when he is awake and decides to harass people, she sits by and she supports him in this as well, because everyone deserves it, because, True Freeman did nothing wrong. But, yeah. So that's pretty much it. I just thought everybody should know and understand the terrible, terrible things that you've all done to Ghetto forced him into doing this. And you are all evil people for having driven him into the corner of True Freeman and forced him to support all of True Freeman's evil deeds and his assaults on children, the elderly, and humans in general. Not to mention the things that True Freeman has done to animals. The death of more than a few puppies and adult dogs, and he blames these deaths on other people, like veterinarians who actually go to school for numerous years to prevent such things, but in Tyra's ignorance, he thinks he knows better, so he finds a way to ignore professionals and their opinions, and dogs die. And in some cases, adult dogs are neglected in such a fashion that they also die without consultation from a vet. And also, he blames people that are over 8 hours away at the time that their dogs die. And he publicly says that these people are responsible for the death of animals under his charge, even though he chooses to buy dog food that was recalled and known to kill dogs. But yeah, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's not his fault, and it's not Ghetto Intellect's fault for supporting this man. It's not. It's everyone else's fault because you guys were mean to him. So yeah, we will have a moment of silence for the loss of Ghetto Intellect from the sector, who is now gone again from this sector, finally having enacted his revenge on those who were mean to him. And he is now off in a better place, with a better job. He's going to be making even more money than everyone else on YouTube now. And he will have even more integrity and honor and moral standing and intelligence than everyone on YouTube and everyone around him. And he's better for his experience with True Freeman. Better than everyone else, smarter than everyone else, richer than everyone else, faster than everyone else. He's better after this experience now, after losing his job and gaining a new job. He is better. And it's all everyone else's fault. A moment of silence for Ghetto Intellect. And please leave your respects below.